Hi, welcome back to Tarot with Yulishka. And if you have watched a few of my videos or haven't, I'm a Hungarian, 100% Hungarian, with roots in the, I don't want to use the word gypsy because that is not politically correct, but when my sister and I actually talked about this, that's where our roots come from. Our ancestors, from what we can find, and from the origin story that we picked up on in Ancestry.com, were nomadic people. They traveled. They traveled around Europe. I don't know if they're traveling around America. I'm just getting into finding out DNA matches and things like that. So please, if that at all upsets you, or if that's a word that you don't want me to use, I won't use it. There's just so many references to that word, or were so many references to that word when I was growing up. By my parents and my grandmother. And if you've watched the first video about my grandmother's relationship and my relationship, we spoke Hungarian and probably some Slovak too in there. So today we're into it. We're into this Mercury retrograde. And if you are a Gemini, a Virgo, or a Cancer, you are feeling it. I'm a Gemini. The lucky number for me is 13. That's my birth date. And I embrace that. I am also aware that it affects, especially the retrogrades, they affect me, they affect Virgos, and this particular transit right now through Cancer for this retrograde is going to affect the water signs, the signs that are adjacent to that sign, but mostly Cancer. So if you're born under that sign as your rising, this Mercury retrograde probably will impact, and you'll feel it more than others. There's a lot going on in astrology, but as far as related to tarot, I wanted to do a specific Mercury retrograde spread that asks some questions. What will this Mercury retrograde bring into my awareness? How will this affect me? What do I need to revisit during the Mercury retrograde? What do I need to rework during this period of time? And what unknown factors do I need to be made aware of? And finally, what precautions can I take to protect myself or make this a smoother Mercury retrograde season? We're already in it. We're going to be in it until July 23rd, as you probably already know. If you're aware, there's also a shadow period that'll go until August 6th. So I felt the shadow period before the Mercury retrograde started. I had crazy things happen. I have an African gray parrot that had seizures out of the blue. I had, all kinds of little house issues happen. The things, went haywire technically. So I saw that this was going to be a very impactful Mercury retrograde. We go through these 3 times a year. They affect all the signs, but for those of us who have Mercury as our ruling planet, it affects us a little more profoundly, and can cause a lot more havoc than the other signs might experience. But in this case, Cancer, individuals born under that sign are also going to be feeling this because that's where the transit is for this particular retrograde. So you have my sympathies as we go through this. It has been some really struggling times as far as, you know, the world in general. If you've been keeping up with the news, it's been crazy. Nothing's making sense. So yeah, that would be another video with, you know, another title. But right now we're just going to focus on you and what you can expect. I spared you the shuffling of the Mystic Dreamers deck, which I'm going to use for this. And I pulled out cards that 1 through 6 will answer some questions, or maybe give us some insight into things we can do to make this a smoother transition, give us ideas on what we need to look out for, what we need to watch out for, and what might be going on that, you know, is just something, you know, things in particular perhaps that we can avoid. So let's look at the first card. And this one asks, what will this Mercury retrograde bring into my awareness? So the first card is the Hermit. So the Hermit card is, if you're familiar with tarot at all, it's a gentleman that's standing alone, and he's very introspective. He's carrying a light, which has, in many interpretations, knowledge and insight. So as far as Mercury retrograde is concerned, being in a hermit type of state is probably not a bad place to be, or taking on the attributes of a hermit during this time. Lying low, keeping things perhaps to yourself, not sharing things perhaps that don't need to be shared. The Hermit is a card that we can all learn from, to take a step back and look at, okay, what's really going on? And give ourselves that quiet time to, especially during the retrograde, reset and rethink and do the things that during the rest of the year, especially for the Gemini people, the Virgo people, who Mercury is our ruling planet, and also this time around for people born under the sign of Cancer, time to just sit back, take the time, journal, however it is that you are journaling, if it's in your iPhone, if it's on pen and paper. It is a beautiful time to just sit and be with yourself, and that can be the hardest thing, especially when it's so tempting to doom scroll, or to put on the news, or to get involved in other people's business or other things that are going on in the world. And Mercury retrograde always asks us to take that step back and to calm things down a bit. So the Hermit card, I think, is especially important as our first card that we pulled. The second is going to take a look at how will this Mercury retrograde affect you. And for that, this is the Two of Swords. Very interesting. Okay, Two of Swords, if you're familiar with the Two of Swords, it's a woman who is sitting and she has two swords. She's contemplating a choice, or she is attempting to resolve a conflict. between two factions or two people or two situations. She is flanked by the ravens, bringing her knowledge spiritually to make these decisions. And as far as affecting how this Mercury retrograde will affect you during this time, it may ask you to look at some choices that might not be best made right now, but best be considered right now. Do you see where that ties in? Sitting with a decision that has to be made, or that you know that has to be made in the future. And it will be between two choices or two situations that you're going to have to make a decision on. And this again, much, like the Hermit card, taking that time, sitting with the decisions, weighing them out. She has the two swords, and they're pretty, she's holding them very, very balanced. They're balanced, and she's not, struggling with them. They're heavy. They're heavy questions. They're not, like what, should we, do for, Labor Day weekend. I mean, this is a heavier question, a life question that she's looking at. Swords, of course, are all about the intellect and thought, and so when we see this during a Mercury retrograde, it's just a sign that this is the time where those decisions that you're pondering and have been pondering, continue to. Don't jump at making a decision right now. It's not the time. It's still the time to be weighing what information you have and what information might still be coming to you. And that is that third card, which is our what do I need to revisit during this Mercury retrograde? And for this, we have the Page of Swords. Interesting. Pages are usually messengers. Has there been a message that someone has been trying to get through to you? Is it a message that you need to sit with instead of impulsively jump upon and respond to? If there is a message coming in, what I'm getting is that this message should be sat with. It might be a question, it might be a request, it might be a important request, but it's coming from a place where the person who's asking might not be well informed about it or immature about asking this question. And so with that, give it a lot of thought. Think of who or where the question's coming from. Again, swords, another sword card, another card of intellect and thought and a dwelling upon things that are of, of a higher realm, of wanting to know and gain that knowledge. But when we see the Page of Swords, we know that this is a representation of a person who is still in the learning process, still is young, and that could relate very much to how the question's coming through. It doesn't necessarily mean the person who is going to ask a question or have an issue that needs to be resolved is going to be a young person, but they might be immature or not understanding the import of what it is they are requesting. So that is the, yeah, that's the third card. And revisiting that and taking a look at, okay, have I been asked something by someone who either doesn't have all the information or is too young or too immature or too inexperienced to really know how to present the question to me so I can make a good decision on it. And so that is our third card. Our fourth card is going to ask what you need to rework during the Mercury retrograde. This is interesting. It's the Knight of Wands, and he is sitting there, and he has his wand, and yeah, he's reworking the situation. He is not getting on that horse. He is not going anywhere, as knights tend to do, and the card the cards that represent the knights, his horse is just sitting, and so he really is reworking whatever is going on. And Mercury retrograde again asks us to sit back and rework things, especially for those of us with that ruling planet in Mercury, where it can feel so especially for Gemini and Virgo, and now because this transit through Cancer, there is going to be you're going to feel a sense of urgency to want to do something. But of course, the retrograde that's happening is asking you not to jump in, not to do the impulsive thing, not to make a decision, a snap decision, to think things through. It may well be that this is something that has been sitting and something you've been thinking about for a while, and it's just not the time. Again, that this horse in this card is not moving. Typically in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck too, the horse in the Knight of Wands isn't doing a lot. So this is a very important message about taking time to think. And the wands are fire, essentially in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, to take a look at, okay, the work that you're doing, the fire that's in your career, the effort that you're putting into your career, is that all? Is it taking you where you want to go? Or is it stalling things? Things to think about during the retrograde, because this is showing some non-movement. And that's the beauty of the retrograde, is getting that time to actually sit back and say, okay, we're going to give this a rest. We're going to give whatever this thing is that is at work or career or a creative endeavor a break. Give it some more thought. This isn't something that we need to jump into right now. We have time. We have the energy. We have the fire. We have the excitement of whatever it is. It's all still going to be there. But this just is not the time. So that is our fourth card. Our fifth card is going to ask us, what are the unknown factors of this Mercury retrograde? And for this, we have drawn the Three of Cups. This card's very interesting to me, because when I see the Three of Cups, typically it means, joyous happiness, things that are, wonderful. In fact, this card has a little bit of a rainbow in it, but it also, that number 3 can mean a clique. It can also a clique of people. It can mean that there are things that are unknown to you that are happening. Gossip. Unfortunate gossip that you are not aware of. It may be by individuals who you know well at your workplace, but you have no idea that this is happening. I don't see it as being horribly career-ending type of gossip, but it is petty and it is, unnecessary, but it's happening and you don't know. You're not aware of it. You've not been made aware of it. It's being hidden from you. So during this Mercury retrograde, if you're getting that feeling that, something's just not right here, maybe someone accidentally sent you a text or a message that you weren't supposed to see, that's giving you the heads up on the gossip, or you were standing around the corner from where the gossip was happening, which has happened to me, where I'm standing around the corner and the piece of people that were gossiping about me didn't realize I was just right around the corner, and I heard everything that they said, which was enlightening to say the least. But it gave me a moment to pause and to think about, okay, what does that really mean in my life? Is it important? Should I give it any energy? That's the kind of petty gossip that I'm seeing or feeling that is being downloaded, that this is really petty, stupid, kind of silly gossip that's not going to make a whole lot of difference one way or the other. And if you should find out about it during the Mercury retrograde, do not engage, do not address, step back. By the time this is over with on July 23rd and we get past our shadow period of August 6th, it may have all passed and be, something else is going to be the topic of the, gossip rumor mill or whatever it is at your work or creative space or in your family. This card also represents family, by the way, so it could be something going on, yes, in a family, where 2 of the 3 are sharing something that they're not sharing with a third, and that goes back to the clique. When I see this card, I think about the ease it is where 2 people can share something and then not share it with a third. So it could be a family issue. Again, it's not the time during the retrograde to make this a, an explosive situation where you have to know everything, because it will backfire. It will backfire. It will not bring out the best in anyone, and it will be eventually addressed in August after the shadow period, if it even needs to be addressed at all, if it hasn't resolved itself, because these kinds of things that I'm picking up from a card like this, this isn't earth-shattering stuff. It can be hurtful and break your heart, but earth-shattering it is not. No. So don't be tempted to engage, to text, to pry, to try to figure out who said who, what to whom and who, all of that. It's just going to drain your energy. It's going to tire you out. It's going to lead to sleepless nights for no reason and anxiety that you don't need, because you're above all that. And let them gossip. It's fine, because by the time we get to July 23rd and past August 6th, this is going to be just nothing for you to worry about. Our final card is, what precautions can I take so that this is a smoother Mercury retrograde? And the card that I pulled is the Queen of Swords. A lot of swords. Okay, but Two of Swords, got the Page of Swords, and now we have the Queen of Swords. So what precautions can you take? This is telling me that there is someone in your life, probably a woman, who is very well aware of what's going on in your life and is protective of you, even though you don't even know you're being protected. Take a look at her. She's looking behind. She's watching your back. She's watching her own back. She's watching your back. She's got your back. This Queen of Swords is smart. She knows what's going on. She has the intellect above all of the, random people who are gossiping over here in this card. She's going to come to your aid. You may not be aware of it immediately. You may not be aware of it until after the retrograde, until after, August 6th. It may be something that you find out accidentally, that you had someone in your corner and that they were standing up for you. They were standing up for you. And they took your side and they fought for you. So as far as things going smoother during this retrograde, trust the people that you have already developed excellent relationships with, especially the women in your life who have shown you through their intellect, through their very balanced approach to things, that they can be trusted. These people already are known to you. You know who these people are, and they will be the ones to help smooth the way through this Mercury retrograde, the ones to go to with questions, the ones to go to when you need to speak or talk about something, rather than sending out a text to all or email to everyone on my list. I need you to know I'm feeling this way. This is not the time. This might be a person who you maybe share very privately with what's going on. Actually, this is the person you should share privately with what's going on, because she can be trusted. She's proved herself to you already. Okay, so that is the reading for what we have in this kind of rough retrograde. It will again be over with on the 23rd. We do have that shadow period. It is a thing. It is a real thing. So give yourself grace during this entire time. You have the power to say no to things, to step back, to decline invitations if they don't feel right, to not respond to phone calls or text if they don't feel right. It's really the ball is in your court on this. So know that you have that strength and you have that power to actually navigate this entire retrograde with grace and with your intellect. Because as a Virgo, as a Gemini, and as a Cancer, you have the best for others at the forefront. That's part of your archetype. And with that, this should be a little bit easier to get through. And I hope this helped a little bit as far as navigating these next few weeks as we get to the end of this retrograde. If this resonated with you, if you have a story to share, if there is something that you'd like to add, please put them in the comments, and like the video if it was at all helpful to you. And please do subscribe. It will help get the message about things like Mercury Retrograde out to people maybe who haven't ever heard of Mercury Retrograde. I hear some people got married, like a big famous couple got married during the big Mercury Retrograde, and didn't anybody warn them? I don't know. Just saying, you know. They signed contracts and yeah, all that during the Mercury Retrograde. Oh well, I guess the astrologer is not on staff there. And that's about all I have for you. Be blessed and stay safe. And until next time, thank you for watching and take care.